In the early 1800s, in the small, quiet town of Adams, Tennessee, a man named John Bell and his family lived peacefully on their farm. For years, their life was simple and good, until the night the whispers began. At first, it was just scratching sounds in the walls, like rats gnawing at the wood. Then came the whispers, soft, unintelligible murmurs that seemed to float in the air. The Bell children would wake up screaming, saying they had seen a dark shadow standing at the foot of their beds. John Bell tried to reassure his family. "It's just the wind," he said, "or maybe a trick of the candlelight." Then, one night, something unseen pulled the covers off Betsy Bell. She screamed as she felt ice-cold hands grip her wrists. But when she looked, there was no one there. The unseen force grew stronger, until one night, it spoke. The voice called itself Kate, and claimed to be the spirit of a woman who had been wronged. Kate took pleasure in tormenting Betsy, pulling her hair, slapping her, and leaving red marks on her arms. John Bell wasn't spared either. He began experiencing mysterious illnesses. His throat swelled shut, and his body felt weak. No doctor could explain what was happening. The spirit mocked him, whispering in his ear and laughing as he struggled to stand. Desperate, the family turned to priests, neighbors, and even witch hunters for help. They prayed, performed exorcisms, and even tried shooting at shadows, but nothing worked. One morning in 1820, John Bell was found motionless in his bed. Beside him was a mysterious vial filled with black liquid. The Bell Witch's voice echoed through the house, laughing. "I gave it to him," she said. "I have won." Even after John's death, the spirit didn't leave immediately. Then, as suddenly as she had come, she announced, "I will leave, but I will return in 7 years." And just as she promised, 7 years later, strange things began happening again. To this day, people in Adams, Tennessee, claim the Bell Witch never truly left. Some say if you visit the old Bell farm, you can hear her whispering in the wind, waiting for her next victim. Even today, some believe the Bell Witch still watches from the shadows. Visitors to the Bell Witch Cave report hearing whispers and feeling cold hands touch their skin. Some say cameras and electronic devices fail mysteriously inside the cave. There are even stories of people feeling sick after stepping inside, as if something unseen is draining their energy. Local historians claim the Bell Witch legend is one of the most documented hauntings in American history. Even Andrew Jackson, the future president of the United States, was terrified after visiting the Bell farm. It is said that he left quickly, declaring, "I'd rather fight the entire British Army than face the Bell Witch again." Skeptics argue that the story was exaggerated, that it was a case of mass hysteria, or even a family hoax. But those who have visited the site, those who have heard the whispers and felt the cold breath on their necks, believe otherwise. The Bell Witch, they say, is still here, waiting, watching. And if you ever find yourself alone in Adams, Tennessee, and you hear a whisper in the wind, you might not be alone after all. Some say the Bell Witch is drawn to those who doubt her existence. Others believe she lingers in places where people speak her name too often. There have been reports of people experiencing strange events after simply reading about her. In some cases, people have claimed to hear knocks on their walls after watching a documentary about her. Others have even seen ghostly figures in their homes after researching the legend online. Many paranormal investigators have attempted to communicate with the Bell Witch. Some claim to have captured her voice on recording devices, whispering warnings to those who listen. Others have reported feeling invisible hands pushing them, scratching them, or even choking them. To this day, the Bell Witch Cave remains one of the most feared locations in America. Even experienced ghost hunters refuse to enter alone. Some visitors claim they hear a woman's voice calling their name when they step inside. Others say they've seen shadowy figures moving in the depths of the cave, disappearing when they shine a light. The most terrifying stories come from those who dared to stay inside for too long. One man claimed that after visiting the Bell Witch Cave, he was followed by an unseen force for weeks. Another visitor reported waking up with deep scratches across his back the morning after his visit. Whether you believe in the Bell Witch or not, one thing is certain: those who encounter her never forget. Some legends fade with time, but this one refuses to die. Because if the Bell Witch is still watching, still waiting, then perhaps she's not a legend at all. Perhaps she's real.